You can see the red is anything below 75, and anytime you're below 75 pounds in either one of those air tanks, you're going to get that alarm. And that alarm is what I was saying is in our worst case, if we ever had an air emergency, we start hearing that while we're going down the road. The idea is just to get off the side of the road as safely and as quickly as possible before we completely run out of air and our spring brakes engage. Y'all already know that's what happens when you run out of air fully. Y'all already know that that's something that should never happen, but it is a possibility. All you'd have to do is, say you're running down the road and you run over a big old truck tire and it grabs a hold of one of your big air lines going to an airbag or an air brake.
Where's the air?
You would have enough air leaking off of that to drain the system.
So it's going up.
But you'd still be safe as long as you heeded your warning and got off the side of the road pretty quick. So
how did you turn that idle on?
So I hit my cruise control, I turned it on here, and then I just pressed and released set. And that put me up to this set 1100 or 1200 RPMs. If I want to turn it off, I can hit cancel or just turn the cruise control off. If I want to take that idle on past that preset mark, see how it works. You can tell I'm still a little trying to get used to these.
Turn it on, yeah.
Yes, I must have had it off.
Yeah, you turned it off.
Oh, there it goes. So it's the set button, pressing it and release it, that gets you to the preset idle. If you want to go past that, you can press and hold this resume. I wouldn't really go past that 1500 RPM. There's really no reason for it sitting here idling. If you were going to idle for an extended period of time, you'd want to bump that up to that 1200. Cummins engine doesn't like old Caterpillar or something. It doesn't like to sit and idle. It'll get too cold up in the top of the heads, and you'll start building up a little bit of gunk up there. So that's another reason to have the idle increase. So what I was going to say earlier before I got sidetracked is just naturally the engine's usually going to be running when you're running your slides. So like you'll pull up to your campground, you got to have the ignition on to run the slide. So I say, why don't you just go ahead and leave the ignition on, so we're putting real good alternator driven 12 volt power back to those motors while we're running them in and out. So I'm going to leave us running.